So often, the final third of a season's racing schedule becomes an exercise in running out the string. The formality of data entry, filling in the boxes, before the obvious champion-to-be can finally be crowned. That's not the case this afternoon. From Sebring International Raceway, Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Season 8 Championship has reached the final third of its schedule, but its champion-to-be is anything but obvious. From the Sunshine State, hello and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel and the Countdown to Green. Way up in the press box to bring you our Word's Eye view is Soup and Crackers, yours truly, Bill Soup Zahn, joined by Sean Crackers Ambrose. Manning the director's chair is the hardest working man in sim racing broadcasting, Joe Peak, with cameras locked and loaded by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. It's round 9 of 12 on the Formula Renault 2.0 Season 8 Championship schedule, and as cyberspace flows into your place over these 15 streaming award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the doubleheader format that consists of an initial 40-minute feature followed by a 25-minute sprint. GSRC will be here to bring you all the action live as it happens as we count down to green. It was at this very same point in the previous season when the AOR last visited Sebring. Adam Tierney got the feature win that day, and Ty McLeod winning the sprint. It must be noted that Jean-Francois Godin, René Osterkamp, Patrick Kessler joined Tierney in the top 5 of this season's points race. Our current point leader, Mark Usher, did not race here last time this season. Crackers, it sounds like the drivers and fans will be pretty familiar with this place, but since GSRC pays the commentators by the word, I want you to be able to afford lunch, so tell us about Sebring.
Soup, I will tell you about Sebring and all the great fans here today on the last day of 1950. A 6-hour enduro on a makeshift course marked with bales of hay took place, and Sebring International Raceway was born. A classic American circuit and host to the annual 12 Hours of Sebring Endurance Race, this place is now a 3.7-mile road course with 17 official turns. Winners have ranged from Fangio to Foyt to Fittipaldi, Gendebien and Gurney to Greg Moss, McLaren to McNish, just about every post-World War II racer of note. Now, various sections of the course were repaved in 83, 87, 91, 1999, leaving only a tick under a mile of the original concrete still remaining. But the transitions between the old and new surfaces can be a bit bumpy, especially in this Renault 2.0, but that's Sebring. To get a feel for what it's really like takes to get around this cathedral of American motorsports, let's hop on board the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0 and take a lap here at Sebring.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman of the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0, so let's do a lap around Sebring. Coming up to turn 1, the bumps and lack of sightline from the inside wall are going to make this a terrifying prospect every time. Hit your brake marker and turn in point and try your best to keep her steady. Coming off the turn, it's important not to understeer into the dirt. Then quickly get lined up for turn 3. The inside curb here is very tall, so try not to hit it hard or you're likely to spin. From there, we're chucked into turns 4 and 5. A late apex out of 5 will be critical because it's going to be a long run to a heavy braking zone. Obviously, as we fly around Big Bend, this sweeper is flat out and effectively a straight. Hold left and get ready for the hairpin. This is going to be a popular passing spot, but be careful not to outbrake yourself if you're sending one up the inside. There's also a weird squiggle in the track while exiting the corner that can create chaos when drivers aren't given enough room, so be aware. After that, it's flat out once again through turns 8 and 9. Obviously, this makes for another great opportunity to overtake because up next is Cunningham. The downside is that if you can't get the overtake done in that corner, you'll find yourself too wide through Collier, which is never fun. This section is narrow and tricky, so a small mistake while battling it out can easily end your day. On top of that, it ends in a curved braking zone down in a tower. This right-hander has another one of those very tall inside curbs that messes with the car when you get aggressive. After that, swing back to the right so that you can open up the double apexer that is Bishop. It may be flat out, but the way that it leads directly into Jean Debien makes your line very important. As the track swings back and forth, try to get as far left as you can go for a good entry into Le Mans. This is probably the most critical corner of the circuit to get right. The run down the Holman Straight can make or break your lap time, or even offer a competitor an easy way to breeze by. Oh, and by the way, hopefully this roll bar cam view has given you a good sense of just how bumpy this circuit is. You'll see it especially as we come around Sunset. This hairpin has a kink on entry, which makes braking treacherous. The bumps make the line a toss-up between trying to hold the inside line or trying to keep the car steady. Whichever poison you choose, be careful to keep it off the wall as you exit. And as you come to the line, you've now finished a lap around Sebring.
Joe Beek taking us around the very bumpy tarmac here at Sebring. Now, let's review what happened last time out at Brazil. Following up the great feature result with a good sprint result is what Soup and Crackers preach every week. Can I have an amen, Sean?
Amen. Preach it, baby.
All right. Enric Andre must have been taking the sermon to heart, as he did just that, as the Frenchman won the feature and then came home in 6th in the sprint to earn best of the day honors. René Oosterkamp finished right behind Andre in each race, 2nd and 7th, to finish 6 points back. Mark Usher, Christian DeCatch, and Ty McLeod were all log-jammed for 3rd. Pointed out here that Harrison Finch won the sprint race, but a 12th in the feature nested him in 6th, just off the overlay. So how do things stand in the points? This is really interesting. We talked about it in the opening, and now you can see it for yourself. Last round, the interval was 12 points. This round, between the top 5, it's 24 points. The big mover was SimRC's René Oosterkamp, up 3 spots. The big faller was players Jean-Francois Godin, as he drops 3 spots. Oosterkamp's teammate Patrick Kessler holds station in 4th. Remaining in 3rd is defending champion Radicals Online Adam Tierney. All this behind privateer Mark Usher. Again, because the scoring system allows for 2 dropped events, the most important numbers are those drop races, and that's where Usher has to be very careful because he doesn't have as much insurance as the guys he's racing with. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Tier 2 standings now. And again, this was once a blowaway, but now it's really close, as Jonas Vast and Lucky Vastamaki, well, that interval continues to shrink. It is now down to just 11 points. Keep in mind, these are raw totals. We don't take the drop races into account on this overlay. Daniel Morris and Scott Newton hold station in 2nd and 3rd. You can see there that the Little Bird and the Kmart swap positions for 4th and 5th. Finally, to the team championship. If the charge to the lead is going to come from Radical Online, it better start soon, because the duo of Oosterkamp and Kessler continue to score points for SimRC. Another team not going away is Positive Sim Racing in green, manned by Harrison Finch and Lubomir Morris. Jumping over to the prize left side of the graphic is Red Devil, powered by DeCatch and Morris. Okay, this and 3 events to go, and all the championship battles are still up for grabs. Sean, for new viewers, what's on tap here details-wise?
Well, Soup, welcome to the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Championship in Season 8. Today, round 9 of 12. Golly, it's hard to believe that we're already at round 9. 2 drops this season. Now, when we talk about a drop, that is going to be the feature and the sprint race. So, a day of racing basically knocked out. Your worst ones are taken out of the points championship. Now, the format, of course, 2 races per event here every Friday in prime time. We have this wonderful feature race followed by a quick sprint race. The setups are open. Well, what exactly does that mean? Well, it means that the drivers determine how this car will be set up, how much drag, how much shock or spring will actually be in the car to help them get around this very, very bumpy circuit today, Soup. The weather, I can tell you, sir, it's a blistering 104 degrees Fahrenheit on track. It's partly cloudy and 78 degrees outside, so you know, maybe grip won't be too bad. Again, the track is going to be the big player here in this race. And let's talk about the details of this first race. It's 40 minutes. They will grid by the qualifying that they've got going on track right now. Fabrizio Donoso, I'm sorry, Adam Tierney goes to the top of the pole here provisionally with a 158.2. He's the first driver to get a time in. Now they start to roll in behind him. Now pit stops, we will need one to get this done. You don't have enough fuel in the tank for this 40-minute race, so they will stop somewhere around that halfway point just beyond incident cap 15. What are incidents? Well, that's getting the car off track. It's getting into another driver, losing control of the car. You rack those up, you get to 15, and you get one more, and you go to the twilight zone. Fast repairs, forget it. You don't get one. Run what you brung and get it home clean. That's the name of the game here in the 40-minute feature race. And the points, they play standard point system, pays out for this feature race. A little bit different for the sprint. We'll get to that then.
And talking about qualifying, 12 drivers have been able to put in a clean lap so far, and the man on top is the man who's trying to chase down the points leader. That's Renault Osterkamp. Look at that as he sits way up on the top of the chart. Can we go to the guy he's chasing? That is Mark Usher, who's currently qualified in 16th position. Sean, we talked about it before we went on air. Mark Usher doesn't quite seem to have the car the way he wants it. He's struggling today here.
Soup, I don't think Usher is going to be the only driver you see struggle here today. Of course, there's a lot of speed at this circuit, but I know this is going to be my fourth mention, I think, of the bumps. Okay, we've already got drivers in the chat talking about how bumpy it is out there. Bring out your washboard today. If you don't have one handy, go out to the shop there and look in the corner for something old, rusted, and with a lot of ridges in it. It's probably a washboard, and that's what a lot of this track feels like, Soup. A lot of patches, a lot of areas that transition from age, one section of the track being a lot older than the other, or the other way around, and it's kind of patched together. It's an old airfield and very reminiscent to the ones we see over in Europe, but Sebring and a monster all unto its own. This should be a very fun race here today, Soup. Lots of room to pass and lots of opportunity to get passing done, but keeping this car on track, especially through areas like turn 1 and, at a sunset and 17, is going to be just finding that perfect line through there and keeping it on the track without sliding off. That's going to be really critical today.
And if you have trouble making a pass out on the track, and you really shouldn't, there's plenty of passing opportunities, but you can always try to make it in the pits. And today we have our special pit road reporter. Let me introduce to everybody Joseph Ringrose. He's going to be down there. How is pit lane here today at Sebring?
Well, if we talk about the entry can be quite difficult coming out at sunset. It's quite tight, and drivers are going to have to slow down. If someone gets caught on their inside, that could cause some incidents.
And then pit exit, always interesting too. It kind of dumps you out there. Got to be careful in the racing line. You're going to need to make sure that you don't cut anybody off. Sean, pit stops, always an important part of this. And what can happen is if they damage these fragile little French Renaults on the curbing, iRacing will make them get that fixed, and it'll cost them 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds in pit lane. How is the curbings here at Sebring? Something they need to worry about?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that the curbing is so much important as just keeping it on track in certain areas. Soup, Le Mans, turn 16. Really an easy turn to overdrive. You're looking for a great apex there, and you have a tendency to get that car really off into the dirt a lot. There is probability of messing up the wing on this car here, but maybe not as much as other tracks. But as we have seen in previous races, Soup, the difference of that wing change could cost you a race, could cost you a podium, and dare I say, could cost you a top 20, which that's what we're looking for, Soup, finishing in the top 20 and putting yourself in a good position to fight in the sprint race.
Looking there at Josh Thompson. He races for Radicals Online. He has teamed up with the defending champion, Adam Tierney. Those two guys are trying to run down the SimRC duo of Osterkamp and Kessler. Having a hard time doing it this size. We look there at Evan Imre now. And now we go over to Mark Usher. Where does Mark sit? He's currently, well, he's got it up to 8th. That's a little bit better than what we saw early on. Nope, let me correct myself. That's his car number. He's gonna. He wishes he could start as his car number, as he's only picked up one spot. Usher in 11th. Commentator still getting used to our new overlays here that we got.
Yeah, we still have a lot of drivers on track with just under a minute to go. Manuel Hoyer just rockets up to the top there. He gets to third. That was a blistering lap of 158.2.
Let's watch and see what Joseph Godard can do here. He has yet to put in a time. He's always a fast runner. Oh, that's not going to work. Boy, and he was just inches away from the start finish line. He's going to get a time. It won't count. He'll be starting from the back. Another one starting from the back. Charlie Summers. He was really fast in practice. Of course, Charlie could be having trouble with his internet. Let's go ahead and run down your grid right now, since it's a standing start and a pretty big field. We think that most of the drivers have their time in. On the front row, it's Renault Osterkamp, flanked by Harrison Finch. The second row is made up of Manuel Hoyer and Patrick Kessler. Row 3, Adam Tierney and Christian Tkach. Behind them, Enric Andre and Ty McLeod. Row number 5 on the inside, Fabricio Donoso. In 10th position, Josh Thompson.
All right, Soup, and at 11th, it's going to be Mark Usher. Right next to him, Scott Newton. Lubomir Mortis will start in 13th. Carl Jensen will start in 14th on the outside of the row 7. Row 8, going to be Cam Stark and Daniel Morris. Row 9, Stefan Herman and Alban Ludros. And row 10 will be Bruno Dometer and Knut Martinsen.
In black deck, it's Hugo Quinier, Connor Ryan. Outside of him in the double duck spot. 23 and 24th, Alexander Valdo, Tom Van Hoyman. Quarter century mark is Urkel Lindstrom. 26th is Jordan Pierce. The next row is filled up by Alec Hudson and the Rolling Thunder, Evan Imre. Then the driver that we saw could not get into qualifying time, Jean-Francois Godard, the French-Canadian. Did Charlie Summers actually put one out there? I'm not sure if he's going to grid up. And the Sarah Dove, little bird back there in the final spot, didn't put in a qualifying time. She's going to race around, see how many points that she can vulture. Okay, let's it's round number. Boy, Sean, you talked about it. Round number 9 seems like we just started this thing. When they race every week, boy, they come and go, don't they?
I mean, so much has happened in the previous 8 rounds. I mean, heck, I've been to Florida and back, and what else have we done? We got through the holidays. I mean, geez, it's just flown right by us. And boy, what a great way to wrap this season. Get into the final stretch of this season with kicking it off here at Sebring today. This is going to be a blast, Soup.
Points championship very much still in doubt, and with Renault Osterkamp starting on pole and the man he's chasing farther down the list, this is just going to mean it's only going to tighten up more. Look at those cars and that strings as they sparkle under this Florida sun. You can hear the engine start to harmonize. Gather at the chicken steak, cover behind the cows, because one more time the horses are out of the barn. It's Renault Osterkamp leading the stampede, but look at the drive from third. It's Manuel Hoyer gets the best of Harrison Finch. They go side by side through one. Hoyer gets the nod. 4th and 5th go to Patrick Kessler and Adam Tierney. Oh my goodness, Sean.
Oh, 3 wide. Oh.
They accordion themselves up, but they managed to get through it. One of the cars involved in that was Lubomir Morris, but he almost pretty had to stop the car on the track, but everyone gets around him. There's a little bit of contact. Morris drops back into 16th position. Now they start to string out. It looks a little better now.
It was Jansen that got through that with a wheel hop there. His car was in the air. He managed to get back on track. Now he's all over Scott Newton. This for 12th.
Jansen will watch this. As you can see him right there as he makes the move. He's going to get to the inside of Scott Newton. He's going to get that done as they head down into Cunningham. He's going to have to do it on the top side. Let's see what kind of drive. Oh, he gets into the back. It's Hansen again. Gets in the back of Donoso.
And that was Tkach around on the inside of the turn there.
Tkach got turned. Getting into the back of him was Enric Andre.
Tkach had to wait for everybody to get by. Soup. He's all the way there at the back of the field now.
So with all the bumping and banging that's going on, Tkach gets the worst of it as he actually got turned around. The rest was just some contact between cars. Meanwhile, up in front, we have a pass for the lead. It's Osterkamp was up in front, but look at the run that Manuel Hoyer got coming out of Le Mans. He's going to get this done long before they get into sunset. Let's see if Manuel now can find his line around for the very first time through Sunset. Bumpity, bumpity, bump. Nothing between him now and the start-finish line. Credit lap number 1 to Manuel Hoyer. Osterkamp with a run, though. He's not happy being back in second, and Osterkamp's going to get the inside line. Going into 1. They are side by side up front.
Here comes his teammate Harrison Finch right behind. Finch with a really, really nice run there down the straight. And out of turn 2.
Tierney back and forth. Kessler in 5th. Then there is a gap. There's about a 2-second gap. There's a 5-car train up front. Then you got to drop all the way back to 6th position. A little 2-car tandem. This is McLeod and Josh Thompson. Let's stay on this Thompson. It looks like he's going to make a move on McLeod as they go through the hairpin. Now they head towards Cunningham through Fangio. Let's see if Thompson makes the move here. He's in there. He's got the inside. He's going to force the issue. They go in at 11:55. They come out at noon. No, they touch and spin it off as Thompson. The hands of the clock got too close together. And Thompson's car is really struggling as that car is really having a hard time going straight. We're going to watch it on replay, Sean.
The replay is great, but there's not much story to tell here. It's just that's what happens when you get to banging wheels a little bit there, Soup. They don't have fenders on them. That was not going to end well, and obviously it didn't. And Thompson still struggling to get back on pace here.
Let's go to second when we come back live, because here's a guy making a move. Adam Tierney now has got around Harrison Finch. Let me correct myself. Those two guys, Finch and Kessler, and Tierney, have all gotten around Rene Osterkamp. Osterkamp back to 4th position. Like that 5th position as our timing and scoring catches up after the tow taken by Thompson. So let's review. Hoyer out in front by nearly a second. Boy, he looks fast. Tierney, Finch, Kessler, and Osterkamp, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Soup, great battle going on back in the field, and 16th on back. Really just a fight to stay in the top 20 right now, being held by Hugo Quinier, Bruno Dometer right there, Connor Ryan, the rookie, and Tom Van Hoyman. Van Hoyman up 5 spots coming through this field. And then Josh Thompson right in behind them, trying to recover from his trouble. Oh, contact there with Van Hoyman. It looked like Van Hoyman slinging it up the inside here. He's going to back out of it, let Thompson get by.
I am surprised to see Thompson has kept that car out there. I guess he's going to try to put as many miles in before he has to come in and take his pit stop. If he can get within the window, then I guess he only has to stop once.
Side by side with Dometer.
Remember, these guys are battling for what we like to call the Dos Equis position. That's 20, XX. If you're in the top 20 and no more than a lap down, you'll get re-grid up to the pole when the sprint race happens. And right now, we look at Josh Thompson. I doubt if he's going to be able to hold on.
And Soup, I don't know if you see who's just behind them, but that would be Jean-Francois Godin. Up 8 spots already and tracking. Erka Lindstrom, though, right on his heels. Got to be careful just over his shoulder there.
I always like to go in and check to see if there's any qualifying penalties before the race that you might suspect that Godin had one, and that's why he qualified back there. But when I did my research, I didn't see one from him. Can we go up to 8th position real quick? This is a driver that is making a move. Cam Stark just got around Ty McLeod. Sean, this is a name I'm not familiar with, but he's flying right now. Uh-oh, and it looks like, Joseph, we have somebody coming in for a pit from up in front.
Yep, let me just check who that is. I was just going to say that Jordan Pierce's car is an absolute wreck. Yeah, just complete damage to that car, and the VRT car of Ty McLeod is into the pits. Bit of damage to the right side tyres by the looks of things.
Yeah, he's gone up, so that's going to be a long stop for him. Usually these stops are about 4 to 5 seconds. He was in there for considerably longer. McLeod makes that stop.
And Pierce, Pierce bended in turn 1, just had trouble getting through there and just took it right into the barrier, destroyed the car.
McLeod stopped 10 seconds. Pierce is done. Here's people who have cut. Jansen has pitted, McLeod has pitted, Donoso has pitted, Mark Usher has pitted. Oh my goodness, it's going to be, not only is Usher not going to score points, but if he falls all the way down like he is, he's not going to be able to get the benefit of the regrid. We talked about it when we showed you the graphics. He does not have a lot of what I like to call pocket points. His biggest drop race, I believe, is only 10. So he'll be guaranteed at least 10 points, but that's not going to be enough to keep him in the lead, especially with the results that Tierney and Osterkamp are having right now. We're looking at Usher in 30th. Let's go out back and check up on our leader, see what's going up on there. It had been Manuel Hoyer. Once he was able to get around Osterkamp, he's just been comfortable, about an 0.8 of a second lead over Tierney. Tierney being challenged by Finch. Finch having a little bit of internet trouble, blinking a little bit. Let's stay on this. We'll see if Harrison wants to make this move. Watch the line that Tierney takes. I don't think so. If Finch was really interested in doing it, he'd be tucked right in behind Harrison, or right in behind Tierney, so he could make the move down into 1. I think he's happy racing back there in 3rd right now. Drop a little farther back. Not happy in 5th position is René Osterkamp as he gets around his teammate Kessler. Go ahead, Sean.
He just got around him. Osterkamp pulls the move, gets around finally. And another battle, Soup, got to go to Scott Newton, just not far behind. Then Herman getting by. That was out of turn 1.
Up into 8th for Herman. That's a nice battle. Newton now in 9th. 10th is, hey, Charlie Summers. And he looks solid. The car's not blinking. He's fast. If he can get good internet connection.
Do we dare talk about him? I mean, he's up 20 spots, Soup. He's come through the whole field. He's in 10th. We start focus on him, and then bad things happen.
Yeah, I'm sure he almost wished we'd just leave him alone. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the Tier 2 Championship. We talked about Eunice Fast and Lucky Vastamaki. I don't remember calling his name, and sure enough, he is not here today. And that's not good, especially when you consider that Manuel Hoyer is a Tier 2 driver and currently leading this feature. Scott Newton, really the only other driver that has a chance at that Tier 2 championship. He's currently in 9th. He is 4th overall of all of our Tier 2 drivers. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Let's go to Stark. Here's a Tier 2 driver that was doing really good. He lost it.
Self-spin, Soup, for him.
Does a real good job, though. Let's give him a little wag of the finger, tip of the hat here. We'll give him a wag of the finger for the spin. Well, then a tip of the hat for not bringing that car back out in front of traffic.
Oh, and Scott Newton. I know we're on the replay, but Scott Newton just had trouble out on track. We'll finish this replay here, and then we'll go to Scott Newton.
It's going to be a little.
I'm sorry, we got
a while before we get there. Go ahead, Sean.
I was going to say, I think this is the Newton replay right here.
There it is, right there. So a couple Tier 2 drivers have trouble. Stark and Newton both.
Oh,
and I know Eunice Vastamaki is go ahead.
I'm sorry, Soup. Newton just makes a huge mistake and does not pit. He can barely hang on to this car as he comes down into turn 1. He missed his pit entry.
Eunice Vastamaki, one of the nicer guys you've ever want to meet, and I know he doesn't wish any ill fortune on his competitors, but certainly that's got to help a little bit. He's not here at the race, and he sees that Newton has that trouble. Not going to help him, though, right now with Manuel Hoyer, who is just picking him up and putting him down. 1.2 seconds up on Tierney and Finch. Nice battle for 10th position. This is Albin Lourdes being attacked here by Knut Martinson, the Orange Viking, Kmart, trying to get on the inside. So they work through Cunningham. Oh, he doesn't do it, and he's going to lose momentum, and that puts him right back into the clutches of Daniel Morris.
Yeah, loses a little bit of grip and wags the tail there, Soup. Cost him. Oh, and just behind him, Daniel Morris just wraps it off the top of the curb there. Car was in the air.
Looking at drivers who have pitted again, it's Jansen, McLeod, Fabricio Donoso. Boy, oh, look at these big names down here. Mark Usher. I'm not sure if those guys are still out there. They're certainly going to have to pit again. Let's double check. Usher is racing. Donoso is racing. McLeod is racing as well, as is Carl Jensen. So they just keep swimming. Now the hard charger of the day, Sean, is Charlie Summers as he gets another position. Working his way now up to 7th, working around Stefan Herman.
Yes, he is. And Summers is really putting on quite a drive here. That's a lot of hard work he's put in here. And Soup, we haven't even hit the halfway point yet, and he's come up these 23 spots.
Well, the feeding frenzy may end here, as now it's another 6.8 seconds before he gets up to the French driver of Enric Andre in 6th. Speaking of Andre, we'll go up to look at him. He is all by himself. He's got that 7-second gap back to Summers and about 2-second gap up to Kessler. And
go ahead.
Joseph we have somebody coming in.
Yep, Scott Newt is in the pits after obviously you saw here spun and received damage. Couldn't really control the car, so he's decided to come in the pits and sort out that damage.
I would think that we'll be seeing him. That's probably Sean with what 26 minutes of racing to go. He's probably in the window.
Could be, Soup. Trouble on track for Sarah Dove. Going down. She lost it down into the hairpin. Spun off track by herself. Soup, she had just cracked the top 20. Had gotten up to 18th. We've got a replay of it.
Do you think she got the left sides off on the curbing or something? That's why the car came around like that? It just didn't brake straight.
Either that or a brake bias adjustment gone bad, but it cost her 4 spots. And, wow, she's now 10 seconds away from that 18th spot she was in. Costly mistake there for Sarah.
Yeah, and you talked about where she had gotten it. If she gets up to the 20th position, that puts her on the pole for the sprint. That's one of the beauties of the format. Oh, I love this camera shot as I talk about the format here. The sprint race has everything going on it. You're looking at the winners, that battle to get to 20th. Front runners who run into trouble trying to salvage their day. So we look at Rene Oosterkamp. He's our pole sitter. He fell as far back to 5th. He's worked his way around his teammate now, Kessler, and is up into 4th. Those two SimRC drivers, though, again, scoring points, making it really tough for the Radical Online guys to get there. But I'm talking about Tierney and Thompson. Again, Thompson has had trouble. That's another driver that I think is going to be coming in pretty soon. More pitters coming in. The Rolling Thunder, Evan Emre. He's in and out.
Great battle right now going on for 18th. Urka Lindstrom, Alexander Waldo. These two have been at it for a few laps here. I think it's about to erupt. Urka trying to not make it very easy here on Waldo. Waldo going to get the inside line, going into the hairpin, going to get out clean, but here comes Lindstrom.
And I believe this is a legitimate 18th position. I don't think anybody's going to jump these guys. Maybe Evan Emre might be able. So these are really close. Here comes the move. This is Urka Lindstrom. And why do we care about these guys, Sean? Well, they may not mean a lot right now, but when the sprint race comes around, we may be calling their names a lot.
Yeah, and then they've got Christian Tkach just behind them. Now, he hasn't pit yet either. Of course, he had trouble early, but he has he's hanging in there.
What he's trying to do is salvage, make the best of a bad situation. Lemonade out of lemons right now as he races in 20th. And that's really all he needs to do. He'll get a fresh car at the sprint race, be on the pole, get some points. Again, he's also, remember we talked about him getting that car, getting that name to the left side of the points overlay. He's still in the hunt for the championship as well as things go bad. There's Valdo, though. And this guy, what I like about Alexander Valdo, if he gets the pole, he will defend that tooth and nail. Valdo and Lindstrom continue to battle for 18th spot.
Yeah, I mean, these are guys that are great candidates to win a sprint race. You know, by nature of getting that pole position, they can put it out front and stay out there. Tkach behind them comes in the pit suit.
Now this will be interesting to see how long Tkach's stop is. Look at this going on. We'll follow this while I keep one eye on Tkach. to catch is in his spot, and boy, it is 4, and he's out. It's a fast one. That's a good one for him. He's fallen back to 23rd position, but remember, he's made his stop. Going around Evan Imre. Now, Imre has pitted as well, and Josh Thompson. Thompson has made his stop, but I think Thompson might have to pit again. His was done really early.
No, I don't know about that, Soup. Thompson, I'm showing he's only been out for about 2.5 laps.
You're right. You are correct.
So I think he's in the window. Yeah.
Remember now, Thompson had that big issue where the car was damaged. His pit stop was just under 10 seconds. So these guys could end up racing for that 20th position.
Yeah.
Thompson makes the move on Imre.
Gets it done.
So he's up to 23rd, but they'll be able to pick up a few when the drivers in front make a stop. Remember, Thompson wants to score points for Radical Online. All of this going on behind Manuel Hoyer. 2 seconds out in front, no traffic ahead, no competitors behind.
10th place, Soup. 10th place. Albon Lutros. Knut Martinsen heading into Sunset. We haven't talked much about the rookie there. Albon having a good run here, sitting in 10th.
Both these drivers up several positions. He's up 8th. Kmart is up 9. Oh, Charlie Summers comes in to make that stop. Oh, and Joseph, what did you see for Summers?
Yeah, he's just slightly missed his pit box and sort of had to reverse back into it. But other than that, pretty clean stop, around 5 seconds for Charlie Summers.
Let's follow him. Here comes Jansen. Jansen is on the track. Let's see if Summers gets out first. I think Jansen is going to get him. There's one. Let's see if McLeod gets him. Summers is going to tuck in 20th position with McLeod right behind him. For now.
Now, just a quick reminder on Jansen's, Soup. He's going to be short. He's going to need another pit stop. He had to take that one early due to the trouble he had early on. He's, I think over 8 laps now into this stint for fuel. I don't think he can make it.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And that's good news for guys like Summer, McLeod, Donoso that are back there looking to get to that 20th position. Donoso, remember, he has a win earlier this season. He's racing in 22nd right now. Look at the big names that are back here. Thompson in 23rd. Donoso in 22nd. McLeod and Summers going at it for 20th.
Usher, 26th.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth reporting, but Kessler just got back around Renee Osterkamp. I honestly think they're just practicing waving at each other right now. So
they're both in those similarly painted cars, the SimRC boys.
One's coming in.
Oh, here he comes. Osterkamp's going to come in. I don't see any way that he doesn't come out the leader of all the cars who've pitted. Charlie Summers is the legitimate driver who has made made his final stop. Summers just coming down right in the middle of the Ullman Straight right now. Osterkamp should be able to get in and out.
Osterkamp's rolling. Bruno Dometer is in.
4.6 seconds for Osterkamp. That's what he needs to do.
Summers just coming through Sunset now at exit.
Osterkamp is going to file out in 14th. That'll probably be 4th or 5th once everybody takes their stops.
All right, well, Charlie did manage to get by Dometer. And Ty McLeod sitting in the pit right now.
It has been a hot summer, hasn't it? My gosh, how many positions is he up? He's got to be our hard charger, right?
Well, I mean, he cycles back out 18, up 12. He was up as many as 23.
I guess one guy we can't forget about. Let's go to 9th position. This is Jean-Francois Godin. He has yet to make his stop. He's ahead of Hugo Cognier and Daniel Morris. Remember, we were surprised to see Godin start so far back. 29th. That's a good day for the French Canadian. Joseph, what do you know about Lourdes?
Well, he seems to have some huge damage to that car. So somewhere he's had an incident. You might want to have a look at that.
Yeah, it was out of Sunset I don't know if it was right before he made his pit stop. Let's see if he was able to drive it in. I'll see if I can hustle it. No, he had to take a tow. Yeah. That's too bad. He was having a good run. So, Manuel Hoyer continues to lead. Josh Thompson, I believe, just happened. I think so. Yep, let's see if we can get an eye on Josh. He put the car, he looped it around and wallets the wall with a wallop here. Watch this one. Just not his day. Again, Radical Online, they cannot get any traction for team points. Boy, he tried to save it, Sean. Boom.
Yeah, he did. Boy, that was a tough one indeed. Let's actually see that on board.
You'll watch his hands. I can bet they're going to be working the wheel on this one.
Yeah, always watch the hands. Watch the hands. And watch it.
I think I got it. I think I got it. Oh.
It's a lot going on with those purple gloves right there.
So he had worked so hard to get up there and had a chance of getting into the regrid, the Dos Equis spot. Not going to happen right now. Take a look at the cars that have pitted. Osterkamp leading all the cars who have pitted.
Yeah.
The top 12 yet to come in.
Yeah, Osterkamp right now settling back in after that pit stop. He's got good speed right now, Soup.
He is about 32 seconds, about 33 seconds behind the leader. Probably outside the bogey time. I don't think Manuel Hoyer needs to worry about that unless he makes a mistake. Boy, Manuel Hoyer is just, he's got that car on rails. Talk about, you just don't see this. The car qualified third, he got to the lead and just put everybody away. What a great run from Hoyer. I don't believe we have the teams lined up here on our overlay yet, but if memory serves, I think Manuel Hoyer's teamed up with Sarah Duffer. Oh, PSR Blue, I'm incorrect on that.
Yeah, Godin right now, the battle for ninth, Quignet and Godin, you know what, Soup, they continue to go at it, and they do it with company now. Daniel Morris has caught them. This is now turned into a three-car battle here to get inside the top 10. Godin with awful good pace, making it very, very hard for Hugo Quignet to get around. The wing is wide, Soup. I don't know how else to really say it, but it doesn't seem like Francois very interested in letting the Frenchman get around.
Morris, a Tier 2 driver in that Tier 2 championship, would like to score some points. Currently racing 5th, though, in that class. In fact, Quignet is ahead of him. There's a Tier 2 driver as well. Something tells me this is going to stay in order until these three guys decide to pit. So go ahead, if you're scoring at home, boys and girls, mark that down on your clipboard. 9th is Godin, 10th is Quignet, 11th is Morris. Let's see how they cycle out after the pit stops.
Yeah, and they're all going to lose those spots to Osterkamp, who's going to fly by them when they go in the pits. Osterkamp only 6.5 seconds behind Godin. So plenty to be gained here for Osterkamp as he continues to really just work the circuit right now and not worrying much about the opponents in front of him or behind him.
Not making up on any time on the leader, but not losing any time either. He remains about 33 seconds back of Hoyer. The question really is for Osterkamp is not is he going to get Manuel Hoyer, which I doubt. It's where is he going to cycle out in relationship to Tierney, Finch, and his teammate Kessler.
I think those questions are going to be answered very soon, Soup, like maybe this lap or maybe the next. And we've only got 13.5 minutes to go.
Now, as you're looking at Kessler, you can see at the very back there, that is Enric Andre. Remember, he was racing all by himself. He said he's all alone. He's beginning to close in a little bit on this Swiss driver. Enric now only back. It's got it down to about 1.5 seconds. Joe, what do you know?
Conor Ryan's just come down pits. Pretty clean stop from him. Yeah, that's it. Fee's around 17th.
Leaders of all the cars who've pitted, it's Osterkamp. And then Charlie Summers still in there hanging second in line. Then they start to fall in right behind him. Summers, Donoso back in 16th position. 15th. So, Sean, who's in our Dos Equis position right now? We go back. It's Emre, it looks like, with Lindstrom and Janssen. But again, Janssen has, we think, one more stop to make.
No, well, Janssen just come off that stop soon.
Oh, did he make it?
Yeah,
Okay.
he did. He just came off that stop, and he currently chasing right now. A long way to go there. Well, I'm sorry. Janssen now up to 21st, now fighting with Lindstrom.
Well, this is important. Here we go. Janssen's going to make this move. He's close enough to get to that Dos Equis spot and find himself on the pole for the sprint race. He moves up into 21st now. He may not even need to get to Emre. He may be able to vulture some of the guys. Maybe Valdo, when Valdo comes in to make his stop.
Let's break away, Soup, because
Here they
all
come.
of the leaders are coming down.
It's Hoyer. It's Tierney. It's Kessler. It's Andre. They're all in. The question is, where is Osterkamp?
Coming through. Coming through. Coming through. He's up to 7th. Now 6th. Now 5th.
He gets Andre. He gets Kessler. And that's where he's going to cycle out. Now, Morris is up there, but Morris has yet to make his stop. He doesn't belong. Finch in 3rd. Tierney in 2nd. Hoyer in 1st. But the gap now between Hoyer and Tierney is under a second. Tierney was about a second faster cone to cone and about a half second faster in his box. So the defending champion is now within shouting distance of the leader. First time Hoyer has been pressured. Riding on board with the defending champion.
Well, we got ourselves a race now, Soup.
Now there's big points to be made. There's about a 3-point difference between 1st and 2nd. You know, that's usually the way that they line up, that they ration out the points. Usually a point each to get down there 20th back, but certainly worth Tierney to try to get that spot. As he not only wants to score points for his team, but to close in on Mark Usher, who's having a horrible day. Tierney is coming now. That interval down to 0.7 of a second. Everybody has made their stop with the exception of Daniel Morris. Daniel racing in 4th right now.
Great racing going on behind them between Kessler and Andre. Fighting in Sunset, side by side. Here they come, Soup. This is for 6th. Wow.
And go, you know, remember now, we talked about it before the stop. Remember, Andre was making the move on Kessler. Kessler not done, though. Kessler trying to duck in there. We saw Andre running Kessler down. He was about 1.5 seconds back before the stop. Well, he's got it, and now he's leaving the SimRC driver behind. So Kessler back to 6th. Kessler's teammate, Renee Osterkamp, in 4th. They'll pick up one spot. Off in front of them is Scott Newton. That won't matter. They'll pick up one, though, when Newton finally comes in. And Newton finally coming in. Morris is done. Everybody is done. Let's go ahead. All the pit stops have been made. Let's give you the rundown now as Morris finally makes his stop. We'll take them 5 at a time. Sean, the top 5. It's Manuel Hoyer. We got to hustle because Adam Tierney's about 0.8 of a second behind. Harrison Finch racing in 3rd. Started in 2nd. He's fallen 1 spot back. Starting on the pole was Renee Osterkamp. He fell back as far as 5th. Back up to 4th right now. And rounding out your top 5, he just got around Patrick Kessler. That is Enric Andre. Sean?
Right, and it is Kessler currently sitting in 6th, trying to get back to Andre. Behind him, Stefan Herman chasing. Don't know if he's got the speed. We'll find out. Herman's still trying to get back on pace here after that pit stop. Then we go back to Charlie Summers up 22
Woo!
spots in 8th spot. Soup and Stefan Herman just right in front of him. There may be more in this for Summers before this all is said and done with. Looking to the inside. There goes Summers trying to take the short way through Lamar. And then, well, I got distracted. Let's go back to Lubomir Morris in 9th. We'll stay on the battle. We'll stay on the battle.
Summers gets that spot now, and I think the way Summers is going, I'd be surprised if he surrenders it back. Summers now up into 7th. Let's down a bit more. I think Herman might like it back. We'll finish our rundown in just a second. Let's see what kind of line Summers takes into 1. He eases the car over. He's going to get that wide entry into 1. Sean, I think Summers is safe there right now. So Herman in 8th. What else you got for those final 2?
Well, all right, Lubomir Morris in 9th. And then one of our really big movers left, Francois Godin, in 10th, up 19 spots, Soup.
Remember, boys and girls, I told you to mark that down on the clipboard. For right now, Godin up to 10th. Now he's being chased by Kmart, Knut Martinsen, the Orange Viking. Then there's a little bit of gap. Hugo Quinier, that's another one of the drivers you wanted to mark on your clipboard. Bruno Dometer in 13th spot. They continue the battle. We go back to the driver in 14th, Daniel Morris. Finally got that stop in. And then rounding out your top 5, Christian DeKetch. And then we get to the important position, Sean.
Soup.
Which would be 16th, would be
16th,
Connor Ryan.
right, Connor Ryan. I'm sorry, I dropped my mic there. I was having trouble. Carl Jansen in 17th. Tom Van Hoyman in 18th. Evan Imre up to 19th right now.
And look at the battle for the Dos Equis spot.
Yeah, look at that. And these two have really been hooked up for the whole race, basically, Soup.
But the name I heard you mention as you did those final 5, Carl Jansen, has got himself up into the regrid position. Assuming there are no penalties, that they're going to actually let him regrid this time. So we'll keep an eye on that and the battle between Valdo and Lindstrom for that final spot. Of course, if somebody falls out ahead of them, then they'll both get into the top 20. All this going on behind Manuel Hoyer, who is now feeling a little more comfortable. He's opened it back up to over a second on Tierney.
A little bit. Still 5.5 minutes left to go. Anything can happen. Seen so many cars struggling out here today. We said it was going to be bumpy, and the sheer number of incidents we've had is proof of that. It's amazing how the car can literally get picked up off the track surface and wind up about 20 feet in the other direction in a snap of a finger.
You're looking at the driver in second, and the top 6 or 7 now have positioned themselves. They have a nice space going on. Our first real battle is back in 7th. We saw Summers get around Herman when we were doing our rundown. Stefan, though, not giving up, as he's staying right on the back of Charlie. Stefan, a Tier 2 driver. He is our second best Tier 2 driver behind Manuel Hoyer. Martinsen in 3rd in that class. Quinier, Dometer. Daniel Morris way down, 6th best in class. Not going to score a ton of points. Yunus Vastamaki has to be happy about that. Looking at Daniel Morris right there, trying to... Still has the sprint race ahead of him. Who's our hard charger? It's got to be Jean-Francois Godin, right? Let me check to make sure.
Oh,
well, no.
It's Charlie, really. Man.
Charlie's got 23. Godin only 19. Both of those guys should get credit. They almost need to give out an honorable mention.
And you know, with 4 minutes left, I think that's where Charlie's going to have to top out because it's almost 10 seconds to Kessler. Charlie got a little bit of work to do here, though. He's not finished. He's got to worry about Herman. Herman looks very determined. He's up 9 spots himself. And I'll tell you what, the pace between these two almost identical here based on their last lap around.
We ride off the back of Summers right now. You see that Florida sky in the background. And the blimp. Oh, he starts to make a peek inside. Good camera shot there. And then you can see him gather up as they get into corner entry and then pull away through corner exit.
Soup, little known fact, my grandmother has been to Sebring back in the 60s.
Okay.
With my grandfather.
That's not on my statistics. I did a lot of research. I didn't find that on the internet. Okay.
The Ambroses were there back in the 60s in the golden age of Sebring.
Well, I hope they had a good time.
My grandmother spoke fondly of the facility. She absolutely did.
She probably put on one of those long bathing suits, went out, and, well, actually, Sebring's not on the coastline, is it?
Yeah, not quite. Not quite.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she was probably disappointed she didn't get to go swimming. We look there at Charlie Summers continue having Herman behind. Let's check in on 20th position. Just give you an update on the Dos Equis. Now, Emre is racing in 19th. Alexander Valdo has pulled away from Urka Lindstrom's. Try as he might, Lindstrom's tried to hang on there.
Yeah. And I think Urka's I think it's his fault. I think he just overdrove the car and trying to get by. I think he's lost pace and now he can't find it again. Might have cooked those tires.
The only thing he can hope for is some type of incident for one of the drivers 20th and up. But with only 2 minutes of racing to go, if that's going to happen, it better happen fast. Manuel Hoyer. Was it wire to wire? I don't know if he actually did, if he lost the lead when he came in. I can't see that. I believe it was wire to wire. Once he got the lead from Osterkamp, I guess Osterkamp may have led early. Manuel Hoyer now with just about 1.5 minutes to go. Oh
boy. Yep, gets a little bit off into the dirt coming out of turn 1. He's going to cut it on the inside here. Loses a position to Finch, loses a position to Osterkamp. The good news is he did not lose his car into the wall, so the car continues to race. Almost ran Osterkamp off the road. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Yikes.
Here we go. Now watch Osterkamp. Whoa!
And also Osterkamp has a moment down here himself. Oh man! Nice recovery.
We talk about what Urka Lindstrom needed. He almost got what he needed there to get into the top 20. So that moves up into second position now. Boy, Sean, we talk about him. He just continues to impress. Harrison Finch. I really hate to see guys improve because it just makes me wonder, why can't I improve? It's annoying. Tell you right now, if Sarah Dove wins a race, I'm retiring from GSRC. No offense, Sarah, but second place is all I want her to get. She gets a win. I'm just not mature enough to handle it. Manuel Hoyer with 3 seconds of racing to go, working his way through Sunset. This should be the checkered flag. Round number 9. Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. The feature race goes to Manuel Hoyer. Finch is going to get second. Osterkamp gets third. Tierney, who started this lap in second, comes home in fourth.
Now, watch Herman and Morris, but I think I got a battle back here for 13th. Morris under attack from Cugnier, coming down the Oldman Straight.
Look at the defensive line from Morris, making Cugnier do it around the outside of Sunset. Oh, this is scary when that happens. What kind of drive can Cugnier get on? I think he's got the momentum. I think he's got him if there's enough time before the start-finish line. And is it the front or the back? I don't know. Cugnier gets the spot. It's one of the widest start-finish lines you'll ever want to see. I believe it's the beginning of all those checkers.
Wow. I had a feeling that would turn into a battle. Yikes.
Alexander Valdo gets the Dos Equis pole transfer position. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy or a more aggressive race driver. Well, the racing is over here in the feature, but our broadcast is far from done. Remember, this is a doubleheader. And the best part of any doubleheader is the break between. It's that perfect blend of the post-race high and the pre-race jitters. We're going to take a short break here on the Global Sim Racing channel, but we'll be back to run down the entire finishing order that you just saw, talk to some of the drivers before we get all of our ducks in a row for that 25-minute sprint that follows. Back in a few. You're watching the Global Sim Racing channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Season 8 Championship. Round 9 from Sebring. Remember, these are doubleheader events. The feature race is in the book. The sprint race is coming up. Let's give you the results of that feature race right now. It wasn't wire to wire because Manuel Hoyer started in 3rd position, but once he got to the lead early, there was no catching him. He gets the win. The Tier 2 driver, very impressive. Harrison Finch and Renee Osterkamp come home 2nd and 3rd as they vulture that spot from Adam Tierney, who made a mistake on the final lap. Tierney has to settle for 4th. Enric Andre worked his way up, got that final position in the top 5 for 5th. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th go to Patrick Kessler, Charlie Summers, our hard charger, Stefan Herman, Lubomir Morris, and another hard charger, Jean-Francois Godin. Sean?
All right, Soup and Knut Martinson going to finish 11th. Bruno Dometer, 12th. Hugo Cagné, 13th. Daniel Morris, 14th. Christian Tkach, tough day in this feature race for Christian, 15th. 16th, Connor Ryan. Carl Jansen, Soup, he finishes in the top 20. He'll finish 17th. 18th, Tom Van Hoyman. 19th, Evan. Really, really tough race today. Emre and Alexander Waldo, 20th.
Waldo has a knack at getting that 20th position. Look for Alexander to be on the pole inside of the Rolling Thunder when we regrid for the sprint. Hidden Blackjack just outside of the magic 20th spot is Urkel Lindstrom. Mark Usher, oh, he'll be starting well back in the field. He doesn't get any points for the feature race, and he is our points leader overall. Remember, he's going to have to work to get any points today. The Flying Dove, Sarah, she comes home in 23rd position. Eric Hudson behind her. Scott Newton, Tier 2 driver, looking to get some points there. Not going to happen as he comes home in 25th. Fabricio Donoso, fast driver, 26th position. 27th and 28th go to Ty McLeod and Josh Thompson. Again, he cannot score points for Radicals Online. That's going to hurt them in the points race for their team. Alvin Lourdes in 29th. 30th and 31st go to Cam Stark. He was quick. He was running up inside the top 10 until he made a mistake. And Jordan Pierce. 31 drivers. There you have it. Do we have anybody to interview? I guess we do not. So, Sean, let's take this opportunity then to look over the grid, see who's back there. A fast driver that's going to start somewhere down that could maybe run away with the sprint race. Who you see that you might think has a shot at this thing?
Well, Evan Emre.
Yeah.
Now, he would laugh and tell you I've got no chance up there, but I disagree. I think Emre could put on a good show from the front row there. Carl Jansen's going to be up there.
Yeah, look at that.
I mean, if he can just get to the front within the first or second lap, is anybody going to be able to catch him? You know, then you got Christian Tkach starting in the top 5 too. I mean, that's pretty serious company right there alone. Again, another driver that if he gets a break to the front early, Soup, it could be church for the rest of that field. So we've got some, like I said, some heavy hitters in the top 5 and the top 10. Jean-Francois Godin, Hugo Cagné. You know, again, it's Daniel Morris. It's wide open if you ask me for this sprint race right now.
Yeah, I think you may have found the sleeper in there in Jansen. If he had a bad qualifying time in 14, so that's what kind of threw me off when I was going through the grid there. But he certainly could race fast if he can stay clean. Oh, he's only got to get around Baldo, Emre, and Hoyman before he's got clear track in front of him. But Christian Tkach, he's a veteran. He qualified 6th. We know he is quick. Got into that early trouble. Boy, Tkach could be a good pick as well. Well, we'll find out soon enough, as it won't be much before we get that race going. What we'll do right now, since we have no drivers to talk to, we'll take another short break, give our director time to get all of his software working correctly. We'll be back to give you that 25-minute sprint in just a few. Don't go far. I am Bill Soups On. The man next to me is Sean Crackers Ambrose. Down in the pit lane, it is Joseph Ringrose. You are watching the Global Sim Racing channel, and we are bringing you the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Season 8 Championship. The feature race is in the books, and now we turn our attention to the always exciting 25-minute sprint race. Here to tell you about the details, it's Crackers.
Soup, and yes, the details of this sprint race today, 25 minutes here. Now, we are inverting the grid from the top 20 finishers of the race we just finished watching. So we talked about the possibility of drivers. We're going to have some tough company in the top 10 to get started pit stops. You're not going to need one for this. If you do, you've probably lost all chances of a win and or a podium. The incident cap, it does change here just a bit. 11 incidents. Now, again, for those just tuning in, you've maybe never seen this before, you're watching for the first time, incidents. That's getting off track. That's losing control of the car. It's having contact with another. We saw that happen several times in the last race. So you get past 11, you go to the Twilight Zone. Now, fast repairs, you do get one here for the sprint race. But again, any trip to the pits is really dashed your chances for maximum points. But the fast repair does help you salvage some points. So, and speaking of those points, they are reduced for this this portion of the event, Soup. And if we want to look at that scoring section, scoring system, just real quick, you see how the points change from the feature to the sprint. 32 pays the feature, 20 pays the sprint points, and cascading on down and over there, you see how that goes out. Now the extra bonus point for the 0x no incidents is now 2 points for that bonus. So 1x is worth 1 point, and see on the graphic there. So Soup, not much time left. We'll be gridding up and get ready to take another one down here at Sebring.
Some of the drivers, you get 2 points if you are clean for both races. So that's 4 bonus points. You spread that out over the 10 scoring races, you're looking at 40 points if you can be clean for the entire season. Nobody can do that. Yeah, there's some nice points to be made there. They upped it this season. They wanted to give a little more entice drivers to race clean. So now it's 2 points if you get a 0. You give 1x, you still get 1 point. Any more than that, you get nothing. Now, Joseph, there is no pitting today, so you're not going to be quite as busy as you were in the first race. So Sean and I'd like mustard and relish on my hot dog. Please, Sean, is ketchup only, so if you can take care of that, okay? Nothing from Joseph. It was not in the job description, he's saying.
Well, Soup, just a reminder on the weather here real quick. It's the same in this session as it was previously. It is partly cloudy outside. It's 78 degrees. It's still 104 degrees on track, so the drivers will still have to deal with that. I don't know that we saw a lack of grip so much as we just saw the bumpy surface being trouble for some of the drivers getting through some turns, Soup, and it was the usual suspects. Sunset Bend, that final turn, so tough to navigate that carousel through there under the bridge, and other sections of the track out of Big Bend and down into the hairpin. We saw a little bit of trouble there, and I think we could probably expect the same. There, the opening lap of the last race was actually pretty clean. Can we hold that? I saw 3 and 4 wide through turn 1 when that race started, and that was pretty scary. Now they kind of got it sorted out by the turn 3, but once they got to turn 4, that's where the trouble really started to erupt. So expect the same here in this sprint race.
Yeah, the nature of the beast of these sprint races are different than the feature races because the fast cars are in the back. During the feature race where they line up in order of speed, the string stretches out. In these sprint races where the fastest cars are behind, it just bunches and bunches and bunches, and sometimes it breaks. Sometimes they manage to sort their way through. We put up those, we tried to tie 2 things together there. We put up those points. You can see those, and then we talked about the slickness of the track. That takes me right to Adam Tierney. He's in this championship hunt. If he loses this championship by a handful of points, he's going to look back at that feature race where he was in second, spun the car for really no reason, and ended up coming home in 4th, losing a handful of points in the process. Oh, boy. He's got to be worried that's going to come back to bite him. Practice session just about done. We can't get to the grid earlier here. We have to wait for iRacing to populate it before we do. But once we do, we'll hustle through because Sean and I want our commentators bonus if we get through all the drivers before they go to green. Still waiting for iRacing to give us the names of the drivers. We know who they are, but we can't show it to you until iRacing does it. And now they do. On the front row, it's going to be, oh my goodness, Alexander Valdo and Evan Emre. Row 2, Tom Van Hooyman and Carl the Man Janssen. He's going to be quick. Connor Ryan and Christian to catch. Another fast driver in 6th. Daniel Morris, Hugo Cunye, Bruno Dometer running out your top 10. Kmart, Knut Martinson. Sean?
In 11th, John Francois Caden. 12th, Lubadere Morris. Row 7, Stefan Herman. Patrick Kessler. Row 8, Enric Andre and Adam Tierney. Row 9, Renee Osterkamp and Harrison Finch. Row 10, Manuel Hoyer, Erka Lindstrom. Soup.
In 21st, Mark Usher, a long way to go and only 25 minutes to get there. Sarah Dove in 22nd. Alec Hudson, Scott Newton, Fabricio Donoso, Ty McLeod, Josh Thompson, Alban Lourdes, Jordan Pierce, Charlie Summers, and that's it, 30 drivers. Sean, we made it. I guess we're going to get to go to Arby's for lunch today. Got our bonus. The engines start to harmonize. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows. The horses are out of the barn. On the inside line, it's Alexander Waldo. On the outside, the Rolling Thunder, Evan Emre. They sort in. Watch farther back. Hoyman on the top side. That is Hansen making the move. Janssen up into 3rd. Big wreck behind. Looked like it involved, there were so many cars involved, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
One of them was Connor Ryan.
Daniel Morris also in that Soup.
Maybe not quite as bad as I initially thought. We'll bookmark that one. If we have time, if the racing allows, we'll do it. Up front, though, we'll focus on this one. Emre in 1st. Hansen in 2nd. Valdo has fallen back to 30. He is now under attack from Tom Van Hooyman. Christian to catch, looking for a way around. He is trying if he can. He would like to get this done so he can get up and race with Janssen as fast as he can. Watch this battle back here for 4th. Nowhere for to catch to go. They are still side by side in front. The blue car is Valdo. Hooyman in the white car. Hooyman out in front to catch in the red car. Still trying to find his way around. Bruno Dometer behind looking for a way. Now go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. 3-way battle here. Adam Tierney, Lubomir Morris, Renee Osterkamp. They were 3 wide. That's for 13th.
Those Those guys are fast. Remember, they finished well in the feature race. That's why they're so far back. You have the fast cars way in the back trying to get through. Then you have some fast guys up front that are trying to make it, getting pushed off. Oh, bumping and banging for 9th position. Making their way through. Watch the car on the top side going through. That's Enric Andre gets up into 7th. We know that he is quick.
This is a real melee heading down the Ullman Straight into Sunset.
Let's go up to 3rd. We got to leave. This is a side-by-side battle for 3rd between Valdo and Heumann. And again, to catch would like to get around these guys, but you can't do it when there's a wall in front of you. The blue car is Valdo on the top, below, working on the top side with momentum of Heumann. He takes it really wide. He's off on the grass. He was going to come back into the catch, but he cranked the wheel to the right, and he sacrificed himself for the benefit of everybody else.
Wow. You said
Spartacus Racing.
You said it. He did sacrifice himself, and good job. Nobody else gets into that.
He had a chance to save it, but if he did, he would have been right out in front of traffic.
Hey, let's go to 19th right now. Knut Martinson being passed by Fabrizio Venuso, Charlie Summers, both coming around. Man, they were 3 wide. Charlie Summers gets all the way through that, clipping the nose off of Donoso right behind him.
The battle is intense behind. We talk about it. To catch gets Waldo. We've talked about it all the time from the guys, Sean, the guys who finished well in the sprint, in the feature race. They may not be able to win the sprint. What they want to do is get some points. Buda in 8th, Kessler in 9th, Dometer in 10th.
Andre getting by Waldo. Andre just keeps moving, man, up 11 spots already.
To catch has managed to get around those guys as well. So let's go ahead, catch our breath now, and see what's going on. Carl Jansen, we thought he would get there. He's there now. He was able to get around Emre and all that nonsense. He's out in front. Picking him up, putting him down. 1.3 seconds ahead of Emre. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, it's Osterkamp going to the inside here. And, man, what a battle. Dometer hanging on. Ooh, Osterkamp has a wiggle there coming through Sunset. Obviously hit a bump, got the car uneasy, but these 5. Oof, this is intense.
Osterkamp in 10th, bringing Dometer with him. Finch, look at this. Dometer on the outside now of Osterkamp as they work their way through down as they're heading down into 4 now. We're going to go back. We're going to look at Scott Newton. He was on the main straight. He got turned by Josh Thompson.
He got clipped, indeed.
We always try to give the other side of the story here, so...
Well, I'm not sure exactly what happened with Thompson. Either he was slow or... I don't know, but... He I don't know. He got the run at him and...
Throttle stuck. I'll go with that one. We'll call it hardware.
Yeah, I don't know.
Misjudged the closing speed, and boy, that's a hard one to swallow if you get turned like that. All right, now we're looking at Emre in 2nd. He's got...
Donoso and Usher get together. They were side by side. They had locked pods. Usher loses 2 spots. Sarah Dove gets around. Sorry, guys. So, Sarah's off track. Right in front of Usher.
Not her day today as she spins off. Usher working his way up now into 19th. Still not in the points yet. Has yet to score a point today. If he has to fall back on his pocket points, I believe there's only 10 of them. That's not going to help in the points race. Now, let's catch our breath and show you what's going on. Well, no, we're not. We're going to stay on this.
Yeah, Soup, that's the second time you told us to catch our breath.
No, we can't.
Kenye and Herman.
We'll do it right here. This is a battle for 6th because we're looking here. Up in front of these guys is Andre. He's left him behind. Herman in 5th, Kenye in 6th.
Watch the onboard and just see how bumpy it is, Soup, just getting down the straight here.
Buda, we know he is fast. He's looking for a way around, racing in 7th. Doesn't have anywhere to go. Now, just behind him, we don't need to go there, but it's Kessler and Valdo. Valdo has fallen back to 9th. Nevertheless, doing a good job starting on pole. Still right on board with Godin, looking ahead. Let's go to 9th real quick. Here comes a shot, Director, as Osterkamp is going to make a move on the inside. Our Director's right on it. He gets Valdo, move Osterkamp up into 9th.
Oh, Tierney gains position, and Dometer loses it behind him, stacks up the field behind Dometer. Oh, boy, there's a gaggle.
That dark blue car is Usher. Usher's going to drop down to the inside. Yep. They touch. Yep. We knew it was going to end well. They're all still going straight. Usher's going to come out the best of it. Oh, no.
That's the twilight zone for Mark Usher already.
Dometer 2. I wish you could hear what our Director said in our ears here, in our headphones. This is not going to end well.
I'm going to get ready to take that screenshot, Soup.
Yeah, as both of these guys blink away, Usher and Dometer both go off into the twilight zone as they hit the incident cap.
Yay.
Well, nothing really lost back there. Those guys were racing out of the points. Their only way to get points is to really press the issue. So, in that respect, I guess you
4
can
laps,
look at it that way.
4 laps. That escalated quickly, Soup.
Well, Usher had places to go. Now we look at this long shot. Now we are going to catch our breath, and I'm going to run down the top 10 for you. It's Janssen running away with it 4.5 seconds. We know he's going to be fast. Once he got around Evan Imre, it was good night, nurse. Imre in second. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hold it because Christian to catch is a-coming. He is dispensed with the guys he had to get around, and now he's in third. Enric Andre is back in fourth. 5th position, Stefan Herman. We saw him race well in the feature race. 6th and 7th, Hugo Cugnet and Jean-Francois Godin. Brought back a bit farther. We'll stay on this one here a bit. Godin, he might win the award for passing the most cars here today. Now that Charlie's not having quite the race, Charlie Summer not quite having the race that he did in the feature. Let's stay on this a minute, and we'll see if Godin can hit Cugnet. Both French-speaking drivers. He says, excusez-moi. And Cugnet says, Zac le bleu. How's that for my French? That's about all I know.
That's good stuff.
Okay. Kessler back in 8th.
Herman looking to get this done against Andre here. This is a battle for 4th. For a chance to catch Christian to catch and get into a podium spot. On board with Herman here.
Good run from Stefan today.
Yeah, it definitely driver needing a little bit of luck here. A great way to gain momentum for season 9 here. Finish these last races strong, Soup.
You know, there's more than just the overall champion. There's the Tier 2 championship as well. Herman leading right now. He's a Tier 2 driver. He's our best Tier 2 driver. And right now, he's got a run on Andre. Not going to force the issue down into 1. We move back a little bit there. We're looking at Andre. Let's look at that battle a little bit farther back behind those guys. Saw it on screen. That's Godin and Cugnet. Once Godin got around him, Cugnet has not given up the ghost. And then the 2 drivers I need to talk about. It's those SimRC duo, Kessler and Osterkamp. They both scored great in the feature. They're in the hunt to score moderate points here in the sprint. They are tough.
Tierney just moves up to 11th with another battle right behind him. Waldo Hoyer going at it. Side by side out of the hairpin. They get through Fangio clean, but boy, is this going to work out once they get to Cunningham.
This is a tale of 2 cities here. This is your feature race winner in Manuel Hoyer against the man who was lucky to be where he is, Alexander Valdo, who got the Dos Equis regrid position. Hoyer gets that spot. Again, big points in the first race. 12th, probably would like to get a little bit more here in the feature. Or I'm sorry, let me correct myself. Hoyer, big in the feature race, would like to get a little bit more here in the sprint.
We knew what you meant, Soup.
I'm glad somebody did.
Well, Soup, you know, we talked about the possibilities of what drivers could do at the end of that last race when we knew where they were going to line up. I said if Carl Jansen could get a break away on that opening lap, that he would be tough to catch. Well, Soup, it's proving to be exactly that. 6 seconds onto catching Imre now. Good luck, boys.
Let's drop back 3 spots to 4th position. This is the best one. This is Andre. Herman has really been working both sides of the track like a jaywalking milkman, trying to find his way around Andre. Cannot get it done. Imre up in front. Both of these guys, Andre and Herman, might be faster than the Rolling Thunder. They come up on Evan really tough right now. Go ahead, John.
My godfather's a milkman. Just interesting point.
Was he also at Sebring with your grandma and grandpa?
No, he was not.
Okay. All right. I'm learning a lot about your family. Here comes the pass. Andre ducks it in there, cannot get it done.
He sure thought about it.
Oh, here it goes. Enric is worried because he's got Herman coming. He's sitting there really tough. I gotta go. Side by side, he'll have the preferred position now into the into the right-hander. He'll be on the outside through Cunningham. I apologize. Nevertheless, the momentum moved the French driver up into 3rd. Imre hangs on in 4th. Now Herman will want to get Imre.
You know, Soup, we've got some great battles out here. We've got this excellent pit reporter in Joseph Ringrose. We haven't been able to use him at all. Joseph, any thoughts on the race right now? We just run you in here real quick.
Yeah, it's been very exciting up front, and unfortunately for some of the guys that have come down pit road, it's been the end of the day for 4 of them so far. Both VRT drivers in Ty McLeod and Conor Ryan both out after damage. Josh Thompson is out, and Daniel Morris has been in the pits for 13 minutes, so I take it it's the end of his day.
Look at that string of cars. That's Finch in 10th. Now just ahead of them, Kessler, Osterkamp, Quinier, 7th through 10th. Another
Herman looking to overtake Imre here, going into 1. Herman going to cut it down on the inside, right up against the wall, tucks it in nice and neat.
Imre fighting back. These left-handers, though, he'll be on the outside of this. Godin would like to get part of that as well. Godin still in the championship hunt, especially with the bad day that Usher had. Godin says, oh, this is good for me. And now he's got a run on Imre. He's going to get it. They head down to the hairpin. I don't think he's going to finish the deal before they get to the right-hander. He'll have to try to pin Imre down, get some momentum on the outside. Cannot do it. Quinier and Osterkamp right behind. Talk about a cork in the bottle, and it's Evan Imre. Now, Godin with a run. Great camera work from our directors. We are on board, panning off the left side pod of Imre's car. Finally, Godin gets it, and he brings along Hugo Quinier. Quinier on the outside.
Intense sprint race today, Soup.
Osterkamp says that seems to be working. I'm going to follow you guys around as well. Boy, this looks like Saturday night short track racing here as Imre is stuck on the outside. He's getting freight trained. Osterkamp gets him. Kessler gets him. What?
Imre's just got to be gutted right now. The world just passing him by.
Fitch with a great run off of Le Mans. He'll have a run on him. He should get him before they get down into Sunset.
And Imre tried to get a little bit defensive there on him, but he just said no.
And now, this is where it really gets interesting, because look back here. This is Hoyer and Tierney. These were the 2 fastest drivers. Yeah, Tierney had that late spin, but this is Tierney and Hoyer, the 2 fastest driver in the sprint race. This is what the format does. It brings these guys together. Tierney is going to get, boy, man, I don't know how many cars have passed Imre this lap.
Oh, and he's just lost a whole bunch more there in turn 1.
Sliding off now. Oh, it was Quinier. Got a little bit off onto the grass.
Boy,
and I thought he was going to watch this, Sean. I felt like this car was going to back itself right back up on the track. Luckily, it didn't.
But what it does is it spins right back into the racing line, actually. It's going to get lucky. Nobody gets him. But he's just going to have trouble here managing turn 1, Sue. It's a high-speed left-hander. Very bumpy. One of those bumps is going to catch him out. That's the rumble strips there and a little bit of dirt. Spins it right back into the racing line. Boom. There we go.
Okay, when we come back, let's go to 7th if we can quickly to Kessler in a battle with Finch. Kessler into the familiar SimRC yellow machine. Finch gets that pass made, move him up to 7th. Kessler in 8th.
And Finch has been digging. Up 11.
Now you have Hoyer in 10th, Tierney in 9th. Hoyer again trying to make the best. This is what you do. Win the feature and try to score some points here in the sprint. He's slowly working his way up.
Wow, Sue.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think this is one of the more exciting sprint races we've had in a while, buddy. The action has been nonstop.
Looking at Tierney now. He's on the inside of Kessler. This is through Sunset. Boy, when they go side by side through here, it's just... You have to practice your racing line to know what you're in store for bump-wise. It looks like Tierney's going to get this. Kessler has such a bad drive off of Sunset. Is going to open the door for Hoyer to get in there as well. Veteran drivers all around. Look at the run from Hoyer. Boy, he gets a great drive. Now as he heads down into these two left-handers, he should be able to get this done. They head to Big Bend, and it wiggles a little bit. He's going to lose momentum. Now it's a drag race. Kessler scooting up in his chair, waving his arms, trying to get wind resistance, using his Flintstone feet. Get that car to go. A drag race into the hairpin. Oh, and Hoyer spins right in front of Imre. You want a good view of this one, go on Rolling Thunder's cockpit.
A tough break for Hoyer there after fighting so hard.
Yep.
We've got it on the replay.
We're going to look at it from the car behind. They seem so far ahead. He has plenty of time to react. Now, you be the driver. Where are you going to go? I'll go to the outside. So, go ahead, Sean.
Just watched a great pass on track. Donoso, after working Hugo Quinier for a little while, finally gets by. You know, Donoso, we've barely mentioned him. Suppi's up 14 spots right now into this 11th place spot.
Donoso, a renowned sim racer, just getting used to the iRacing platform. He has a win in this season, in the series already this season. You can tell, though, sometimes he doesn't feel quite as comfortable at some tracks as he does in the other. Racing in 11th right now. Quinier behind him. Quinier with a good run. Going to take a peek in there. Now let's look at, here's Tierney. Tierney making a move on Jean-Francois Godin. He finished 4th in the feature. He's now worked his way up to 7th. Doing what Adam Tierney does. Scoring points. Bringing the car home. Picking him up.
Boy, and Tierney going to do really good here to try and catch Finch here in just the closing minutes of the race, Soup. This is doable. Possibly a 6th place in store for him here.
All these points important as we get to the end of the season. Sean, a point is a point. It seems like it wouldn't be more valuable in round 1 as it is in round 11, but it seems like they are. It seems like when you get down here.
Yeah, when you start whittling away at the last few rounds, it's like, yeah.
Finch, and I think Tierney has the, I think he has the legs to get him.
I think so. He's definitely getting an opportunity. He stays this close. Finch has been perched in 6th position for quite a while, but I think
Tierney's been running them down, especially since Tierney has left Hoyer behind now after Hoyer had that spin. That battle for 6th position with just under 3.5 minutes of racing to go.
Wow, Renee and Herman are having a good one here. Look at them side by side coming down the straight.
Oysterkamp gets the spot.
Yep. He takes that lower inside line there right up against the wall.
Another driver scoring big. A great featured race and a respectable sprint race. More points for the SimRC crowd. And again, Oysterkamp very much in the hunt for the overall championship. Would not be surprised to see him as our overall leader, considering all the trouble that Mark Usher has had today. All this going behind Carl the Man Jansen, 6 seconds ahead of Christian to catch.
I think
Catch might have had something for him, but it just took too long for Catch to get through traffic. Go ahead, buddy.
I think we're going to get the white flag this time by here, Soup. These guys running out of time.
Andre could be safe in 3rd, Oysterkamp in 4th, Herman in 5th, Finch in 6th. They all race about 2 or 3 car lengths away. The guy I think that has a shot at it, Adam Tierney, the last one in that train, might have enough to get to Finch. He races in 7th.
Yeah, I don't know if the top 10 is settled. Man, yeah. Donoso holding off Charlie Summers right now. Charlie lost a little bit of time here throughout this lap, but I still wonder if Charlie's got a little bit left in him here to get by.
One and a half minutes to go. Let's turn our attention up to that battle for 6th. Tierney would really like to get this spot. He'd like to get it. He can't risk another spin that cost him a few positions last round in that feature race.
Finch isn't going to give it to him. He's not going to give it to him, Soup. Tierney's going to have to earn every bit of this. Boy, just not a lot of toe here coming out of the Olman straight. Maybe a little bit, but not enough to get inside. Finch going to just get wide enough. Keep him in the mirror.
Lesson learned for next time. He'll have one more bite of that Sunset Bend apple as our leader has crossed the start-finish line. I don't think he's going to need that bite right now, as he's going to try on the outside going into 1. That's not going to work. He decides to maybe do a little hokey doke, a little T-berry shuffle up and under. No, he's going to make the outside line work again. We'll have to continue to work. This will be on the outside through 3. And one more time through 5. Let's see if he makes this dive, if he can get a good run off of here through Big Bend. Down into the hairpin. He's about 3 car lengths back. Our leader has already gone through the hairpin, going through Fangio. Let's stay here for a minute. Let's see if Tierney makes a late dive bomb in there. That's really not his style. Does not. Meanwhile, our leader is into Cunningham. No real battle going on in front of him. Best one is back here for 6th position. All that going on.
Okay, I'm going to keep an eye on the podium, Soup, because Andre working really hard to hold off Renee Oysterkamp right now.
Yep. We can go to that one as our leader is just heading down into Le Mans.
It's a good battle. I'm trying to figure out where Oysterkamp's going to try and make this move. I can only assume it's going to be out of Le Mans. Might be his last chance down the Olman straight here.
We'll see if we have time to get it. Our leader now just getting into Sunset. We're going to put the camera up front. We'll jump back as soon as we can, see if that pass is made. Meanwhile, round number 9, the sprint race in the Apex Online Racing Formula 2.0 Championship goes to Carl Jansen. Catch is going to get 2nd. Let's go back to Andre. They come out of Sunset. Andre's got it. Let's check in on Tierney. Tierney not able to get to Finch. Well, Doug gets the best of Kessler.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get any photo finishes out of this one, Soup.
Hey, how about Alexander Waldo comes across in a respectable 11th spot?
Not a bad day for Waldo at all.
After that spin, Manuel Hoyer, sorry, gets the win in the feature and a 12th place in the sprint. Sarah Dove in the Baker's Dozens position. Lubomir Morris. Jordan Pierce, didn't talk much about him. He's going to get 2 points for coming home in 15th. I believe, is it going to be 15th? Let's get the official timing and scoring when he comes across. Oh, I'm sorry, Pierce. You are actually in 18th spot. No points for you. Manuel Hoyer gets 15. Sarah Dove comes home in 16. She's the last one to score points. Okay, the racing is over here in Florida, but our broadcast is far from it. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back, run down the entire finishing order of the sprint race that just wrapped up, talk to a lot of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Don't go far. Back in a few. Watching the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Season 8 Championship. Round number 9 from Sebring. Both the feature and the sprint race are in the books. Let's give you the finishing order of that 25-minute sprint that just concluded. Carl Janssen gridded in 4th. Didn't take him long to get to the front, and once he got there, it was good night nurse. He picks up the sprint race win. Christian DeCatch comes from 6th to 2nd. Henrik Andre 15th to 3rd. Renee Osterkamp, 17th to 4th, 13th to 5th for Stefan Herman. Harrison Finch, 18th to 6th. I keep giving you all these intervals, all the points picked up, but the positions picked up, but it's impressive. Tierney, 16th to 7th. Jean-Francois Godin, 11th to 8th. Patrick Kessler, 14th to 9th. Fabricio Donoso, 25th to 10th, Sean.
All right, and Charlie Summers having another big climb up the field. He comes up 19 spots, finishes 11th. Hugo Kenye will finish 12th, 13th. Evan Imre. Alexander Waldo, 14th in this race. Does a good job to stay in this race and just hang on there. Soup. Manuel Hoyer, 15th, 16th. Going to go to Sarah Flying Dove. Lubomir Morris, 17th, 18th. Jordan Pierce. Knut Martinson, 19th. And Alec Hudson, 20th.
Okay, I'm going to talk with the driver that I think has maybe the chance to be the top point scorer for the day, to get best of day honors, and that is Harrison Finch. Whoops. Oh, I was so excited. I have more than I've said. Before we talk to Harrison, hang on, Harrison. Let me run down the rest of these. I apologize. I've been doing this for a while. I know the order. Blackjack, it's Manuel Hoyam, Tom Van Hoyeman, Scott Newton, Alban Lordos, Urka Lindstrom, Josh Thompson in 25th position, Bruno Dometer, Ty McLeod, Mark Usher, Connor Ryan, and Daniel Morris in 30th. All right. My goodness. I'm a rookie. Now we go to interviews once we finish the grid, and we'll talk to Harrison Finch. I believe he got third in both races. Harrison, congratulations. Nice job.
I actually got second and sixth in the races, but yeah, it was my best round so far, definitely. The first race I was a bit lucky to get second because Adam spun out on the last lap, but it was a good drive from Manuel to get the win. I couldn't keep up with his pace, so yeah, he deserved that definitely. And the sprint was just like a normal sprint race, quite a lot of carnage, and I managed to avoid most of it.
Yeah, second and sixth. Nevertheless, a good day. I think maybe Osterkamp might have a chance to beat you for best day. We'll find out next week when we do the scores. Tell me about your progression as a driver. You certainly, is it that you're racing on a team, or you're certainly faster than we first met you?
Yeah, the team has definitely helped me quite a lot. My teammates as well. We always push each other, work hard together, get the right setup. As you can see, 1-2 in the first race. That's just down to hard work and nailing it on the day. But yeah, my progression has just also come for putting the laps in, getting practice in, weekly practice, and then yeah, it's just pace is built up with experience.
How was it getting through the field there in the sprint race? Any close calls?
It was quite fun. I had contact with Bruno and Mark, I think. In turn one, I went for the move up the inside of Bruno, and I don't think he left enough room, so he just hit into the side of me. But I didn't get any damage, so I'm not really bothered about that. And Mark, I think I might have hit him off slightly, and that was my fault. I understeered off before the back straight.
Well, nevertheless, you bring it home in 6. Good points day for you. Nice to keep that French race car healthy so you could get a good result. We'll follow you the rest of the way. Good luck as the season plays out.
Thank you.
Harrison Finch, a 2nd and a 6th today, Sean.
All right, I've caught up with Carl Jansen, our big winner in the sprint race. I think it was a 17th place finish for you in the feature race that, well, got you to start here up near the front. And I had a feeling if you got a break on the field there in the opening laps, it might be church for the rest of them. And, well, my feeling was a pretty good one. Congratulations, Carl.
Yeah, thank you. It was a good race all over.
Well, just talk us through the start. What allowed you to get out to the front there so quickly?
It was a good start, and then I were third into the second corner, and Evan passed Alec, I think it was, and that opened up a gap for me on the inside, and then I just followed him for 1 or 2 laps, and then I went then I passed him in the back straight.
Okay, so Carl, obviously a tough run for you there in the feature race, but talk to us about Sebring. And we talked about it in the pre-race. I talked about it before or during the race, and drivers were talking about it in the chat. How rough is this track to get around?
There were some better parts of it, but like the last corner, it's one of the worst parts. The whole car just bounces. Same with the first corner when you run on the concrete, it's very bouncy.
And does it take a lot of practice to figure out which line you want to run through those turns, or is it just kind of a prayer every time you go down through there?
No, it's more of practice, really. Yeah, I don't know. It's more practice, I think.
Well, Carl, congratulations on another win. Big day. You'll walk away with some decent points for yourself and for the team. You and Christian both finishing there at the top, a couple of Scandinavian club members. So good stuff, man. Good stuff. Congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Yep. See ya.
All right, guys, that was
Carl Jansen.
Oh, Jansen, I'm sorry. I wanted
I've
to
got-
Scott.
I got a hold of Enric Andre now. He was our big point. Oh, I'm sorry. We have her. Oh, Joseph Ringrose. Here we go. We'll let Joseph talk to Enric Andre. And Enric was our big scorer last round and comes home with a sixth place, I believe, sixth place in the feature and a third in the sprint. Joseph?
Yeah, very good result for you in both races, Enric. P3 and P6, as Soup said. Talk us through your races.
Oh well, I was a bit surprised with my pace, to be honest, because I didn't train the time. I didn't really have the time to train this week, comparing to the last 2 weeks. But yeah, race went pretty well. I didn't think I did a lot of mistakes, and I was out of some trouble. So I finished in the place quite up in the rankings.
Yeah, well, it's been a quick season so far. We've got just 3 rounds left at Mid-Ohio, Zolder and Brands Hatch. How are you around those circuits?
Pretty bad, to be honest. I don't really like these tracks.
Okay, then we will see you next week at Mid-Ohio.
Yep, see you guys and thank you.
All right, Soup. Well, I guess I'm next. And who do we want to talk to? Well, let's talk to Alexander Waldo, who had an interesting race. Boy, Alexander, great race. Fun watching you today, man. A lot of battling out there for you.
Oh, yes. The feature was something with Urka, and really enjoyed that. It's not often you can have a proper battle for such a long time of a race.
Yeah,
Nice.
well, I mean, that battle resulted in you starting on the pole. I mean, that was a great battle to watch. Somebody had to get that 20th spot, and you were victorious. And you did a good job to hang on. But what was that like with everybody just coming up so quickly on you there in the sprint race?
Well, I think both the sprint race and the feature was sort of the same for me. I had sort of bad starts, and then people started to overtake me. It was really difficult to come back into a rhythm without cars trying to overtake you all the time. Because, well, Carl, as you won the race, well, he's a bit quicker than me, and it's... but it's good practice and good fun, so really enjoyed this race.
I'll tell you what, it was a lot of fun to call, and boy, I can't wait to see what kind of fun next week is going to bring. But you know what? I asked about this track when I was talking to Carl. We talked about how rough it is. It's rough on the drivers. It's rough on the cars. Is that the biggest challenge about Sebring, or is it racing the other drivers an even bigger challenge?
Usually Sebring is the biggest challenge. For some reason, just for this, from the start of practice this week, I didn't really have any issues with the track, which is weird. Now in the race, I think I only had one off track in the entire 2 races. So, and I really just have wheel spin once. So, for some weird reason, Sebring treated me very well this week. So I will say it was the drivers actually this week.
Well, sir, pleasure talking to you. We will see you next week. And again, great day. Congratulations and safe travels to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. That was Alexander Waldo. And Soup, I think you're going to talk to Connor Ryan real quick. Is that correct?
We always talk to the guys that finish up front. Let's talk to a rookie, get a feeling of what it's like to his first season in the AOR. Connor, how you enjoying your first rookie season here?
Hey, yeah, I'm loving it. Got a few races under my belt now. Still getting used to the car though, and still getting used to the tracks. Yeah, half of them I haven't even raced before, so yeah, it's just getting used to it and getting ready for next season, really.
Scored a few points today. You got in the regrid there. You were feature race went well. Sprint race not so good for you.
Yeah, feature race was quite quiet. Just had a run around on my own, really. I was following Christian de Catch towards the end. And then the sprint race, I was just being a bit too cautious, really. And hit a bump and I just kind of lost it. So yeah, that's my own mistake. And I mean, what can you do really? So move on to the next round.
Well, we'll get you out of here on this one. Tell us about yourself. Sounds like you're from the UK. What do you do that lets you race on a Friday night?
Well, yeah, I am from the UK. I'm 17. I've recently joined VRT. And yeah, I've always been racing on a Friday night. Just recently moved to iRacing, so it's allowed AOR. You know, it's the perfect day to race for me. So I joined up and had a go with it.
Okay, well, then I lied to you. This will be my last question. Since you're 17, this comes to mind. What's the legal drinking age in the UK then?
It's 18, but we tend to go out a bit earlier than that. So yeah,
it's a flexible rule. All right, well, it's Friday night. The sim racing is done. Have yourself a good Friday. Well, it was a pleasure to get to talk to you. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
For those of you watching, we here at GSRC, we encourage you to always follow the rules of your nation, whatever they are.
Do we really, Soup? Do we really?
GSRC cares. That's right. It's a public service announcement.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, this could be my last race here on GSRC, as I have done more things wrong here. Hopefully the boss isn't watching. That'll do it for us right now. So if I can pull up our script, which I've got right here, we'll go to the people that we have to thank. I have to thank the viewers at the very end, but I have to thank the viewers right up top for putting up with me this race. I'll do better next time, I promise. But we also have to thank the people from the Apex Online Racing. Boy, these guys are great. They organized the series, and we'd like to thank them for doing that and for also contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. We really do appreciate it. It's one of our favorite races to do. Thanks to the company's equipment and software you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast, and the original music that gives every production that unique flavor and feel. That's thanks to Eric Eckham and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
And the AOR returns in 1 week for round 10, Friday the 16th of February, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Bring your umbrellas, folks. China Beach. Remember, China Beach. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screen now are some upcoming broadcasts. So check those out and mark them down on your calendar if you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts. You can find it all at globalsimracingchannel.com. Please, folks, hit that button and subscribe to us right now. That's where you can find all the information, or all the races, our complete archive, and upcoming races on our YouTube account here. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, and on Facebook, just type in Global Sim Racing Channel. You'll find us right there.
Finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Sean Crackers Ambrose, our director, Joe Peak, our camera artist, Dougie Beard, and of course, don't forget Joseph Ringrose, our pit reporter. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.